Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer. Today on our 2020 Acura MDX, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the CURT T-connector vehicle wiring harness. These MDXs are really versatile SUVs, so a lot of people use them to do a little bit of everything. So whether you plan on using a light-up accessory or do some towing, you're going to need some wiring to power up those lights. And that's exactly what this wiring kit is going to do. It's going to provide us with the necessary lighting functions, not only to remain safe, but legal as well. I will say probably the best part about this kit is the fact that it's going to be completely invisible whenever you're not using it. You're not going to see it at all on the back of your MDX. But it's going to be really easy to get to whenever you are ready to use it. All we're going to have to do is simply open up our hatch, lift up our floor coverings, and grab our wiring. So when we're ready to hook up to our trailer or our light-up accessory, we're simply just going to drape the wiring over the threshold. Now any part of the threshold is fine where there's weather stripping. Just one spot to look out for, and that's the latch. You don't want to get it jammed in there, or you could potentially hurt the wiring. With that being said, we're just going to simply close the hatch. It's not going to hurt the wiring at all. You don't have to worry about it getting pinched or anything like that. It's designed to be used this way. And then we're ready to hook up. Now I will say this does give us a lot of wiring, so we should have no issues reaching our trailer or our accessory. And I would rather have the extra length and not need it than the other way around. So that's really good. It is going to come with a really thick rubber dust cover, and that's going to help protect the terminals. However, I do recommend from time to time, it's not a bad idea to apply some dielectric grease to these terminals just to help prevent any corrosion and things like that. And you can pick some of that grease up right here at etrailer. Another good thing about this kit is the fact that it uses a module box. And what that module box is going to do is protect your Acura's factory wiring if a short or an electrical issue were to occur on the trailer side. And to me, that really puts my mind at ease. Today's newer cars have really sophisticated electronic systems, and so you don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. Because of the module box, it's one less thing you're going to have to worry about. Now, I will say over the years, CURT really has stepped up their game as far as the quality of construction goes. This is really well built. Once you kind of get your hands on it, you can tell, and I think it'll last for years to come. Now, as far as the installation goes, it is extremely simple. There's really hardly anything to it. You more or less just plug it in, put in a couple of fuses, and you're good to go. So anyone should be able to do it by themselves at home, in the garage, or even in the driveway. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and do that together now. To begin our installation, we're going to be here at the back of our MDX, and we're going to need to get to a factory connector plug, which is located inside. So I'll go ahead, open up our hatch, and then we can move our floor coverings out of the way. So that just folds back. Same thing with this one. We can grab this little storage compartment, lift up on it, kind of break it free, and set it off to the side out of the way for now. Now that'll let us have access to this fuse block cover right here. And our connector should be behind it. So I'm just going to take a flathead screwdriver, kind of just pop that out. And if we look inside, we're going to be able to locate that connector. And the one we're going to be able to use is this rectangle one right here. So now we can grab our new wiring harness and plug it in. So I'm going to go behind this plastic here, that way it doesn't really interfere with our cover once we put that back on later. Just kind of feed that through. And this is simply just going to plug right into that slot. You can only do it one way, so you don't have to worry about getting it backwards or anything like that. Now we're able to take our white wire with the pre-attached ring terminal and ground it to the body of our vehicle. In our case, it's really convenient. There's actually a factory ground right here, so we're just going to utilize that. I'm going to take that bolt out using a 10 millimeter. So once we have that out, we can take our white wire, slide that bolt through it, and simply just reattach it to the body of our vehicle. So I'll get this going by hand, and I can come back with my socket and snug it down. Now we can plug in our included fuses. So if you look at our fuse block, this empty slot here, we're going to put our 10 amp fuse. And this empty slot right here, we're going to install our 7.5 amp fuse. Now, these fuses are relatively small, especially if you have larger hands. They can be kind of tricky to get in there. So what I suggest doing is taking a pair of needle nose pliers, and that'll really help you get it in there a lot easier. So these simply just push into place. And once we have those in, if you look at our harness, we're also going to have a fuse holder. So that fuse is also included, and now would be a good time to install it as well. So that just pushes in and close up our dust cover. Now before we secure our wiring and put everything back together, just a good idea to test it to make sure it's working properly. I'm using this little tester, and you can pick that up right here at eTrailer. That being said, let's go ahead and hit our left turn signal, our right turn, our brakes, and our running lights. To secure our module box, I'm going to use the included two-sided sticky tape. Now when you do this, you want to make sure that both surfaces are nice and clean. So I rub them down with some rubbing alcohol. You'll just peel off one side of the backing paper, push it on there, peel that other side off. Then we could simply find a good flat spot on the body of our vehicle, which right here looks pretty good, and simply just push it tight. So at this point, what we can do is reinstall our little cover there. And if you're not going to use your wiring right away, you can just bundle it up, leave it in here, because it will be stored inside. And if you do choose to want your wiring to be mounted outside, that can be done. And if you look right here in this rubber mat, you can see there's kind of a pre-cut circle, if you will. If you lift that out of the way and remove it, there should be a rubber grommet underneath there, and you can use that grommet to pass your wiring down through there to the underside of the vehicle. That way you can mount this connector up next to your hitch. With that being said, we're going to keep ours inside. So we'll bundle it back, then simply just reinstall all of our floor coverings. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the CURT T-connector vehicle wiring harness on our 2020 Acura MDX.